I'm absolutely thrilled to be coming back on the Resilient Minds podcast with a dear friend and an amazing human being, Siri Lindley. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. Just welcome to for being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Eric. I'm thrilled to be here today. Resilient Minds, I mean, that's like right up my alley. And obviously, I adore you. So thank you, everyone, for having me today. I look forward to our conversation.
Likewise. And honestly, Siri, we've been able to see each other 6 years ago almost now was the first time we connected. But for those that may be new to you, I'm just going to do a brief kind of introduction, just so people have a little bit of familiarity in terms of the caliber of human being that I am talking to. So I just want you guys to know that Siri, not only is she a dear friend, she's one of the most trusted voices in leadership and growth. First facing and really taking responsibility of her own struggles and then transforming her life from the inside out. As a two-time world champion, four-time Hall of Fame triathlete, and coach to Olympic medalists, she's conquered life's toughest challenges, including overcoming acute myeloid leukemia with less than a 5% chance of survival. Ranked among the top 10 keynote speakers globally, Siri's insights that come from these real life victories, these real life internal transformation. She is among, I would even say, definitely 100%, the few speakers in this world that really understand the depth it takes to what to do to thrive in all areas of life. The depth, both in professional and personal, and this is the beautiful we talked about just briefly before we got on here, the mirror, right? The mirror of honoring that. So through this champion mind approach, she really empowers you, your team, the people around you for lasting growth, joy, and ultimate fulfillment. So I honor you. I honor your time. I honor your presence, and I honor your resolve to be here and choosing to stay here. Uh, and I mean that in all areas of life. So thank you again.
Oh, thank you, Eric. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you. And truly, every breath I take feels like a miracle. It's been 5 years since the bone marrow transplant and clinical trials that saved my life. But not a day goes by where I don't feel so blessed to still be here. And I feel this ultimate responsibility to share every aspect of my life because really, I think I'm a true testament how one can turn their pain into power, how you can turn your pain into this glorious life. And so to be able to have the opportunity to share with you and with all your listeners feels like the reason why I'm still here. So it's the ultimate blessing. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. It's really beautiful. It means a lot.
Thank you for committing yourself to this path. I believe that we all come from like a deeper meaning, as you know our great teacher Tony, how much we love him and has taught us so much gifts. Uh, and I remember we met in Australia where I really had no fucking clue at all of the depth of my soul. Although I felt it, I didn't understand it. I was completely oblivious to it and unconscious of it. And this gift, I remember that you gave me when I was on stage expressing my mission of, and the presence that you gave it to me with your hallucinations and the way that I was able to articulate the presence that you gave me in front of that whole group. It was something that really deeply touched my heart. It touched my soul. And it's that moment anchored something so profound in me. And to be able to come back now 6 years later and really feel like I've become the person I've dreamt of in that moment. Uh,
I'm so proud of you. I mean, that's so beautiful. And you said, something, there's something in this, it's presence. That presence in this world, we all get so caught up doing, just doing and doing and doing and achieving and moving forward and all of this. But really, what has to happen is it's in the being, it's in that presence, not only, presence with others, but presence with yourself to be able to, when I got sick, I really started thinking about my life and I got present with me. Like, what were the things that mattered most to me? What were the gifts in every single struggle? What were the challenges that caused me such pain that that pain created my superpowers? So in getting present and I actually wrote a book. I decided I was going to write a book about it if I made it, if I survived this. Because what I did is I got present with my whole journey and really figured out the why and the how behind everything that I had not only achieved, but how I overcame challenges. And one of the most important things of all is that presence. And for you, Eric, I mean, just feeling and acknowledging, because I was so with you in that moment. We were just being in that moment. And I try in my life to be in every moment so deeply present, whether it's on a podcast or with my wife or with a horse or with my dog or with my work. I'm focusing just on that in that moment because there's such richness in that. There's such grace in every single moment. And so for you, honoring that place of presence and feeling the power in that, and then I imagine the next step for you was going into really becoming present with you and who is the man I want to be? Who am I now? Who do I want to be? And in order to close any gap, including that one of who am I today and who do I dream of being, it is an inside job first. It's not about, steps you take, courses you take, actions you take. It's about really going inside and looking at what's getting in the way, what's keeping me from being that person I dream of being. What do I need to learn? What conversations do I need to have? You have to get curious. And so I'm so proud of you and to see you here, like what I see and what I sense is just, this groundedness. And to me, it's in groundedness, it's in centeredness that we can truly harness all the gifts that we possess inside. And so I honor you for that. And it's a journey, for a lot of people, myself included. It's not always easy to sit down and really get present with yourself and to feel all your emotions, to realize, what is this emotion about? What's it trying to tell me? So present, sorry to go
don't
kind of on a
apologize. This is
tangent with
so
that, but
important.
it's so important. Yeah.
Yeah, don't apologize. This is actually, the meaning of life. Presence is really taking the time to pay attention to the reverence of each other. And
Yeah.
I've discovered, over the course, since Tony talks about the cognitive mastery, right? Like understanding it, really tapping into the emotions, and then physically to embody and become it. Like it's taken me around the planet, learning from great teachers. Tony, success leaves clues. He's left us a lot of clues, a lot of the teachers that I've had the gift of. So these things, they're so important, but we don't, in the past, I wasn't aware of them because we're so inundated as a society to focus on things outside of us. And so I love, I don't know where you were in that journey in terms of the leukemia. Was it present during Australia then, or no?
No, I was diagnosed in 2019 and had my transplant in 2020, and I'm just coming up February 21st on my 5-year cancer-free anniversary, which is obviously huge. I mean,
It's so
it,
huge.
I mean, it's a miracle that I'm still here, and I don't take that lightly. And I lost a lot of friends to that I had met along the way that were fighting the same disease. But I feel very much this beautiful survivors, not survivors' guilt, but survivors' responsibility. I have a responsibility to pour every ounce of my soul into this life, into this world, into everyone around me, into myself, because we must pour into ourselves if we want to pour into others. So, yeah, at that point in time, I was definitely a few years earlier, I'd really found my freedom. Freedom from anxiety, freedom from self-doubt. I had reached a point in my life where I'd found the love of my life. I was comfortable being me, all of who I am. And I felt freedom for the first time, which is crazy. It's, 2 years later, I got diagnosed. And then it's like, oh my God, like I cannot lose this life that I've worked so hard to create. Like I finally have everything I dream of. Like this is not my time to go. So at that point in life, and when I started working with Tony, it was all about, I want to get up on stage and I want to talk about the things that floored me and brought me to my knees. I want to talk about my fears. I want to talk about my self-doubt. But I also want to get up there and show everybody that in spite of those things, look what I have achieved. Look what I have been able to do. Look who I've been able to become. And it wasn't actually in spite of those things, it was because of those things. And so my philosophy on life now is that, when you are faced with a challenge, something that does bring you to your knees, I always feel like, okay, I guess it's my time to level up. Because as I move through this challenge, and a lot of times we try and go around it, we try and hide from it, we try and go underneath it, over the top. But what I've learned, you face it head on, you move through it, because in moving through that challenge, you become more. You strengthen, you stretch, you grow, you become more. So for me, anytime I'm faced with something really challenging, I'm like, okay, God, I see this. You want me to level up. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to move through this. I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to find the lesson. I'm going to strengthen the skills I need to strengthen to get through it. And I will see myself on the other side, a greater version of me. It's beautiful. Life is beautiful.
This type of resolve is exactly what was the depth that I'm imagining is what gave you the ability to go through all of those challenges, the tools of the conviction, the things that we've learned from Tony, the things that we've developed ourselves, the experiences, the love around you, the community, the collaboration, the support, right? Like I imagine, and maybe take us through that is in that time of uncertainty, I know you've shared it before on stage, but also like the depth of where that came in terms of needing the essence of just that pure love and compassion of people around you. Because and the reason that I get curious about this series is because I know in my own journey there was times where I was pushed away and I kept asking like what could I do better, or how can I take even more responsibility. And so I'm curious if that's something that you also had felt, or you allowed yourself to open up so that community can come and support you. Because that saying, it takes a village, right? I believe it. I really believe it. It takes a village to make us really push ourselves to the next level. So
Absolutely. I mean, I feel, Eric, like every person that comes into our lives, and I love that you say, what part of this can I own? It's always so important. We must own our own lives. We must own everything that happens. But yes, I've experienced this a lot where I felt pushed away. And what I realize now in hindsight is that so often when that happened, that was just the fuel I needed to dig a little deeper, to believe a little bit more in myself, to really think about how badly do I want this? And if I want it that badly and it's for a reason that really moves me emotionally, then nothing is going to stop me. So I believe that even those people that push back, they're there for a reason. They're there to help you strengthen. They're there to help you get even more committed, to believe in yourself even more. And, it's funny because a lot of people talk about, well, how do I believe in myself? I don't believe I can do this, that, or the other. And I always say to them, when I was wanting to become a world champion triathlete and I didn't even know how to swim, like people thought I was a joke that I was working so hard to achieve something that I sucked at. But I would say to myself, do you believe, Siri, that you can go all in no matter whether you're losing or winning or doing great or doing terribly? Do you believe that you can go all in every single day, show up, get knocked down, get back up again, go all in, work hard? And I would say to myself, yes, I know I can do all those things. I am determined. I am resilient. I'm willing to fail. So because of those things, I gave myself permission to believe that one day I could be a world champion. So no matter what your goal or what your dream is, or what people think about your dream, if you trust and know that you are willing to go all in, that you are passionate about this, that you believe in yourself, that you will not stop until you make it. If you believe in those things, then I will tell you, you must believe that you can achieve this, because those are the ingredients. That's what it takes. And so many times in life, and I tell people, I want you to dream big. I mean, my dreams, obviously, you know me, I create the biggest dreams because I know that if I am shooting for the moon, the worst that can happen is I'm going to land in the stars and I'm going to take myself to a place where I would have never been before. So why wouldn't we? And so back to your question, have I ever felt pushback? Oh my God, like more times than I could ever count. But I embraced that. If everything was encouraging, and if we thought that the only way we can succeed is if people support us and love us and agree with us and believe in us, we're not going to, first of all, it would be boring. And we would be achieving things at this level when we are pushed, when we have people resisting us, we achieve things way beyond. But on the other side of this, I think you're also kind of talking about, the support and the community. Oh my goodness. I mean, like your tribe, the people that listen to the Resilient Minds podcast, like that's a tribe. That's a family. And what I know is when I got sick, one of the things that made me truly believe with all my heart that I would make it, that I would somehow survive, not just survive, but thrive on the other side, is that I felt the love. I felt the love. I felt the prayers. And I believe that love heals all. Love heals all. If you can be loving in a tough moment with someone that you're arguing with, if you can be loving, be the one that breaks it up by pouring love into that person, it heals. And so when I got sick, people said, do you want to be public about this? And I'm like, yes, I need as many people praying for me, because I need every ounce of support that I can get. So I believe, and especially in times like, now where there's a lot of, differing opinions and people, politically, it's chaos. Just bring love into your world. Bring love, bring kindness, bring compassion. Own every aspect of your life. Everything that happens, own your part in that. Learn from it. Learn from your mistakes. Keep growing, keep giving, keep contributing, keep being grateful for this beautiful miracle of life. And as you do that, you are healing the world around you as well. I don't know if I answered your question at all, Eric, but those two things came out, so I'm just going to go with it. But If there's something
100.
else you wanted from that, let me know.
No, no, I'm listening so acutely, and you're offering so much wisdom, right? Like there's so much perspective here that is really bringing to the light of knowing that as a result of really shining our own light, not worrying about what anyone else thinks, and really fundamentally bringing this magic from the inside out. Because that is, and by the way, magic we just defined as meaningful action with grace, integrity, and curiosity. And this becomes a really beautiful life as a result of really defining and becoming these genuine stewards of reality and these genuine providers of safety and certainty, where people are really looking at for outside of themselves. They can have a space of absolute grace where they can come to fruition from inside out versus looking consistently at the outside and not being able to see all of what's real. Because my belief is that everything is an inside job. As a result of the work that we do internally, we'll realize our true nature externally. And this to me uh, is really the most profound gift that I've discovered, because it's it's beautiful to have teachers around us, and it's beautiful to push ourselves. And I imagine that for most people, my question has always been, who am I and why am I here? And I imagine that most people, when they have the time and the moment and the ability to really observe, that in that moment they'll ask themselves that profound question. And when we can hold a space where they can actually be themselves and be that playful innocence, we
Mhm.
can start to develop the playground in a way that is for the next generation, so that they can look back and say, wow, you know what? That community, that family, they really took care of us. They really thought ahead, and they didn't think of themselves only, they thought of the collective. And so it's amazing to have observed not only your like resolve and your vitality, because it's always there, by the way. Like I love it. It's always, you're always like shining and so beautiful, and I love it. Every time you walk on stage, you're just like, yes, there's Siri, like.
But what
And
life do you want to live? Like
right,
Eric, you say, who am I and what is my life about? Like you get to answer that. No one is going to tell you who, no one can, they'll try to tell you who you are. No one can tell you who you are or what your life is about. You get to decide, what is my life about? Who do I want to be? And show up as him every single day. I know my life is about pouring love, light, kindness, and compassion into this world, bringing out the best in everyone around me, helping guiding people to their own freedom, because I feel so blessed to have found mine. So that question, when we get caught up on, oh my God, who am I? What is this life about? It's not a philosophical question. What do you want it to be about? Because you get one life, and that life is happening full speed right now. So you decide who you want to be and show up as that person every single day. And as we come up against, like, one of the greatest lessons I believe Tony has offered me, because our beliefs are so powerful. Our beliefs, determine how we feel determines how we show up, and how we show up determines our destiny. And the belief about life is always happening for me, not to me. So when it's great, it's happening for me. When there's a huge, like, leukemia happen, it's like, okay, this is happening for me. When I find my way and I figure out how to conquer this disease, I'm going to see what this was all about. This is life happening for me. Imagine if you looked at your entire life leading up to today and everything else coming in the future. And if in every moment you thought, this is life happening for me. So you're looking for the empowering meaning in it all. And you go through life so, embracing it all. I love it all. I love the great times. I love the challenges. I love the people that say no, or the people that, walk away. like, because life is always happening for me. And I just feel, when we realize that life is up to you, like, Eric, your life is up to you. Listeners, your life is up to you. When I realize that it's not just like things happening, to me, or, oh, I hope I have a good day tomorrow. I hope I have a good day tomorrow. When I realize, like, I need to make it a great day tomorrow. Life is up to me. What I focus on, the meaning I give things, the actions I take, that is going to determine how I feel about my life, the experiences I have, and what I'm able to achieve, and how I feel about it. So the minute I realized that life is up to me, 1,000,000% life is up to me, I felt totally in control. Where growing up and all through college, I had extreme anxiety, OCD, because I felt like out of control. But the fact is, everyone, that you are 1,000,000% totally in control of your life. You get to decide how to feel in any given experience, what meaning to give it. I choose in my life to give every single thing that happens to me an empowering meaning, a meaning that serves me, a meaning that drives me forward, not back. And you can do the exact same thing. So, I have this, I do these trainings. It's my ChampionMind 5, these 5 principles that I believe if we prioritize these 5 things in our lives, we truly own our lives, and we can not only achieve what we think is impossible, but we find joy and fulfillment. And we can experience the beauty and the magic and the gift of life. These principles are, number 1, owning your energy. And when we talk about energy, the energy that you put out in the world is the energy you will receive back. If you're looking for everything that's wrong and everything that's missing and everything you can't control, you are going to find that all day, every day. You will find evidence for the fact that everything's wrong, everything's missing, you have no control. So when we think about our energy comes not from the food we eat or the supplements we take. Our energy comes from what we choose to focus on. I choose to focus on what I have, what I can appreciate, what I love and want to create, and what I have all the control over, which is my own experience of life in every single moment. So our energy comes from what we focus on, from the meaning we give the things that happen. Is this a challenge, or is this an opportunity to grow? Did we fail, or did we learn? So your energy comes from what you focus on, the meaning you give things, and it comes from your habits and rituals. If you want to live this amazing life of energy and vitality, but you're going out drinking and getting drunk every night, that's not going to happen. Like, your habits need to reflect what you want and who you want to be and what life you want to create. So number 1 principle, own your energy. Number 2 principle, be authentic. And that means, we talked earlier about, what is my life about? Who am I? You decide. It's not who your parents told you should be. It's not who society thinks you should be. Who are you? What lights you up? What brings out the best in you? Be him, be her. Third one, be intentional. Everything that you want to create, be intentional. Before this podcast, I thought, okay, what do I want to experience today with Eric? I want to be deeply connected. I want to offer, words that can truly make a beautiful difference in the lives of the people that are listening. So then I ask myself, well, then how do I need to show up? In order to create that, how do I need to show up? Oh, Siri, just be you. Just pour love. Just be present. So be intentional with everything that you do. So when you intentionally are taking actions that will create what you are looking to create. Principle number 4, be present. I told you that's one of the biggest things for me. The more present we are with our loved ones, the deeper, more meaningful connections we'll have. The more present you are when you're at work, you will be more effective, more efficient, more powerful. The more present you are with yourself, the more connected, the better you can love yourself. And when you love yourself, you can love others so much better. And the last one, be grateful. Grateful for this moment, this breath, this life, this opportunity. this challenge because it's really pushing me to grow and to become more. So I try to make it so simple and to say, these 5 things you can absolutely champion every single day and be intentional about owning your energy and being authentic and being intentional and present and grateful. And when you do those things, I have seen that change lives in the most extraordinary ways. So these things really matter to me, and I hope that that's helpful for all of you. I know I could talk about it for hours, but they're 5 simple things, right? You can just write down those 5 words and you'll change your
Well,
life.
I think one of the things that it's like you're being, you're doing and being. You're not even trying anymore, Siri. Like this is who you are, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
which is really beautiful because we oftentimes are like in both business owners or teams or people are like, hey, I want to do this for my team or I want to do this for my culture. I want to do this for, growing. How do I do it? And it's like, hold on a second. Why don't you just become it? Why don't you
Yes.
just become those goals, those values, and then as a result, all of it will fall through, will fall in alignment. And I mean, this is what I'm observing, is really your being of that. You're really honoring that champion mind, and as a result, that's what you're attracting consistently. And so I'm grateful because that is the level of, it's what I've always discovered is like how do we get out of the operator and really tap into the owner?
Absolutely.
And when we tap into this owner, this knowing, uh, there's a less of a need to be doing anything.
Yeah. And when you know what matters most to you, when you know, which basically, what your top values are and what you want most, it becomes your filter. And you can ask yourself with any decision that you have to make, is doing this or saying yes to this in alignment with what matters most to me? If it's not, I say no. But if it aligns with what matters most to me, absolutely I'm going to do it because it's helping me move forward and, show up in a way that aligns with everything that matters most, what I want most, what I hope to create in my life. Because we often get distracted doing things that really don't align with what our hearts want. And heart's not weak. When I say lead with your heart, people are like, "Oh, that sounds so weak." It's like, "Oh my God, you lead with your heart? You just watch yourself achieve the highest levels in anything and everything you do." Obviously, we have to use this. This is very important, but pursue the things that are calling you from here that feel so important to you. You want to drive your team, you want to get them on board with a vision, speak from your heart and stay true to why this matters and why you think it's important for your team or your organization, and drive it forward. Because this is always going to take you to the greatest heights. Obviously, we use this is very important, but we've got to be directing this. You're in charge of your mind. Don't let it think thoughts that are moving you away from everything you want. Make sure that you are keeping check. What does Tony say? Stand guard at the gates of your mind. And make sure that the thoughts that you have on a consistent basis are thoughts that are moving you forward, not back. And what does that require? Intention and presence. So like this life, I always say, like, I feel so blessed to be alive. You've heard it already 5 times on this call. But I want everyone to recognize that this life, this is your one shot. Like, this is it today. So often we're living for this day in the future. Oh, when I have enough money and when I have this position, then I can go off and enjoy time with my family on a vacation. That special day is today. So what are you going to do with it? Don't waste your time angry, holding a grudge. Show up the greatest version of you and be your best self. So every single moment of every day, you can see that you are having a positive, beautiful impact in the world and that you yourself are living your best life. That's what matters most.
Speaking of amazing impact, what are some of the amazing things that you're up to right now in terms of the ranch, the amazing relationship that you have with your beloved wife? What's going on next in terms of some of the things that you're foreseeing into the near future? Your book. Tell us a little bit about some of these things, if you don't mind. I know we have a few minutes left. I want to just be conscious of your time. And so I'm curious if you want to share anything about this magic that you're talking about, because I think that you have done so much, by the way.
You know, I believe that every single person on this call, if they got up and spoke about their life and shared every single challenge they overcame and thing they achieved, would be just as inspiring as me. But a lot of people don't talk about it. They don't, talk about their lives and tell their story. Anyway, finding a way, taking the impossible and making it possible. This came out of my fight against AML. And I believe it's really important to me. Tony Robbins wrote the foreword, and I think it's a really beautiful gift that you can give yourself. Requires you to go all in. So it's kind of a commitment, but that's okay. You'll love it. It'll change your life. Still, my wife and I, the why behind so much of what we do in our businesses is these beautiful horses that we save from slaughter. Horse slaughter is an absolutely horrific process. They travel 5 to 7 days, no food, no water. They arrive in Mexico or Canada. They're dismembered alive. It's absolutely horrific. And these horses are healers. They are incredible teachers. They're majestic. They're inspiring. They're loving. They're kind. So we, after 7 years of having our nonprofit Believe Ranch and Rescue, we've saved 320 horses, many of whom have gone on to heal humans, veterans, people with PTSD, trauma, kids with disabilities. So it's come full circle, and it's beautiful work that we do, and we're very proud of it. And that will always be something that truly is the why behind our work. And last but not least, I have a documentary that's coming out actually January 15th is the first premiere in Los Angeles. It's called Try Me, the Siri Lindley Story, and I can't wait for all of you to watch it. I think it's going to give a lot of people hope. It's inspiring. It's moving. It's all about resilience, which I know this crew here listening loves. And I think you're all going to really enjoy it. So I can't wait for you to see it. But Eric, it's just such a gift to be here with you. I thank you for having me, and to everyone listening. I guess the biggest thing I want you to know is that everything that you could possibly need, and I want you to really hear this, everything you could possibly need to overcome any challenges that you're faced with or achieve anything that you dream of achieving, everything that you need is inside of you. So if you're looking for everything that you need outside of you, my advice, come inside, access it from within, because it is all there for you. And the minute you start drawing from the inside, you become more powerful than you could ever imagine. And it's time.
Siri, you're a gift to this world. I'm very,
As
very honored to know you. I really am. To really know you, to know the depth of you, and to know where it's coming from. It's beautiful to see you continuing to shine bright, and I'm honored. I love every time I see you jump on stage and dance and play, and this just grace that you give. It's really touching. It's really touching. It touches my heart every single time, and I know it touches thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, that as we continue to all grow this beautiful community. So, we're in this together. I really, it's the light I see in you is the light I see in me. I really namaste. I really honor you. And one of the things that I would love, and I'm going to share all the links with regards to any ways that they can connect with, anybody can connect with you. And I asked everybody this question because I think it's super important for us all just to have a little reminder. if we had three, or if you had 3 days left to live, what would you be doing?
Amen. I live my life that way every single day. So I hope to see you at an event soon this year. Everybody, I'm sure Eric's spoken about it, but Tony Robbins events they've changed my life, and he's an extraordinary man. So I know that's where we met, so I'll hope to see you again. I have the ultimate privilege of being able to speak on his stage, and I can't wait to see you there. It'll be amazing.
Front row, you know me, front row cheering.
Yes. Oh, energy plus. Thank you so much, Eric, and thank you, everyone. Blessings to all. Happy New Year, and